Last night I got home from the bars with my girlfriend, and she got upset at me and ran off. And I chased her and wasn't able to find her, and I still haven't heard from her. Her phone's off. I called all her family, and they haven't heard from her, so I'm wondering what you recommend I do.
Viewer discretion is advised for this educational documentary. Kaylee Sawyer, sometimes affectionately known as KK, was born on March 2nd, 1993 to parents Julie and Jamie. She was born at the St. Charles Hospital in Bend, Oregon, USA. Bend is a small city and has a population of around 100,000 people. It's known for nature trails and good beer. It's rated as one of the safest places to live in Oregon. Kaylee's parents later split, opening the family up to become a large blended unit. She had 4 little brothers ranging in age from 3 to 16. She was lucky enough to have 6 grandparents that all loved her, along with a number of aunties and uncles. Kaylee was an enrolled member of the Cheyenne River Sioux tribe, South Dakota. She was the great-great-great-granddaughter of Chief Joseph Forebear. She attended Mountain View High School, where she was known as a sweet, kind girl, a good person. After high school, Kaylee got a job working at Ibex Global, a call center in Bend. Here she picked up more good friends and a reputation as a friendly and helpful person. However, Kaylee's dream job was to work in the dental industry. This is something that she finally achieved, getting a job as a dental assistant at Aubrey Dental. Kaylee also enjoyed photography. She attended a summer photography workshop and would bring photos in that she had taken during the week. Always keen to learn what she could do better to grow as a photographer, she went on to occasionally work as a model if anyone at the photography workshop needed her to do so. Other hobbies included drawing, poetry and snowboarding. In 2014, Kaylee met someone that would be described as the love of her life, Cameron or Cam Reimhofer. The relationship between the two was serious and positive. Kaylee would regularly speak with and spend time with Cam's parents. Everything was set up for Kaylee to live a good life. Welcome back to Dark Case Documentaries. I bring you true crime, disturbing stories and other things that you may later regret knowing, with regular uploads every week. Please do join the quickly growing Dark Case family by hitting subscribe now and turning on notifications. Thank you so much for choosing to be here with me. By Saturday, July the 23rd, 2016, Kaylee was now 23 years old. She was a Central Oregon Community College student and now lived with boyfriend Cam in an apartment complex on campus. Kaylee's friend was due to get married, and that night was the night of her bachelorette party. An event that Kaylee was looking forward to for quite some time was now here. The gathering took place in downtown Bend and ran into the night. After some drinks and good times, Kaylee was ready to go home. Just after midnight, she called boyfriend Cam and asked him to come and pick her up. She waited for him with a few friends from the bachelorette party at a restaurant downtown after he told her he would be there soon. Cameron showed up soon after the call and they made their way back to their on-campus home. The couple argued on the drive back, and when they reached their apartment building, Kaylee decided to wait in the car while Cam walked inside. He waited inside the flat for 15 minutes, giving Kaylee a chance to cool down and things to blow over. However, Kaylee didn't turn up. Cam decided to go down to the car to bring her back to the apartment and forget about the whole thing. But to his surprise, when he arrived back at the car, Kaylee was no longer sitting in the passenger seat. Kaylee had walked off into the night. But this wasn't too concerning for Cam, as Kaylee would often walk out during an argument in order to cool off and reset. But when he tried texting her after a few minutes, Kaylee was still obviously cross with him. She replied via text message one last time to tell Cam that her phone was dying, ending the message simply with goodbye. Then her phone was either switched off or ran out of battery. Cam now had no idea where Kaylee was. There was a chance that she had gone to a friend's house to sleep and everything would just be okay in the morning. The next day, Kaylee had a shift scheduled at her dental assistant job at the Aubrey Dental Group. However, she failed to turn up for work. This was highly unusual behaviour for the normally reliable Kaylee. It was unusual enough, combined with the previous night's argument, to cause concern for Cam and Kaylee's mother, Julie. Cam now reported his girlfriend missing to the police.
Hi. I'm not sure if this is quite the right number to call. Last night I got home from the bars with my girlfriend, and she got upset at me and ran off. And I chased her and wasn't able to find her, and I still haven't heard from her. Her phone's off. I called all her family, and they haven't heard from her, so I'm wondering what you recommend I do.
We can put in a call, and we can have officers or deputies look for her.
Okay.
And where was she last seen at?
Alpine Meadows apartment complex. It's like at the top of College Way.
In that apartment complex?
Yes.
In a specific apartment, or
in the parking lot?
Just in the parking lot? You guys
Yeah,
don't live there? Or?
Yes, we live there together. Yeah, she was mad at me, so I walked inside and told her to come meet me in there when she's like, calm down. And then I went back out in 10 minutes and she was gone. And I called her a few times and she said she was walking down the street. And then I guess she said her phone was about to die. And then I couldn't get a hold of her after that. I haven't heard from her since.
Any idea where she would go, or?
I don't know. I figured she'd go where her car was to her best friend's or her mom's. And I've been over to both. Talked to her dad, and I just haven't heard anything from anybody knowing this.
Kaylee's mother also made a somewhat desperate call, concerned for her well-being. Kaylee had in the past suffered from epilepsy and fitting. This was Julie's call to the police.
Dispatch, how can I help you?
Yes, I need to have an officer call me. My daughter is missing, and she is over 23, but she has epilepsy and some medical issues.
What's the address that she's missing from?
It's her boyfriend's. She and her boyfriend, they live up at the Regency by COCC. I don't have the exact address. But her boyfriend did call, and the police officer said, well, just keep looking for her. And
What's the phone number he would have called from? Do you know?
Oh, gosh. Do you know Cam's phone number? If we just need it for the... Yeah.
All right. And what is your name?
My name is Julie, Juli. Last name Van Cleve, VANCLEAVE.
And your phone number? Okay. I'm going to have the officer who spoke with her boyfriend earlier give you a call, okay?
That would be awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Cameron was understandably interviewed by the police. Often in this type of case, the partner of the missing person is put under greater scrutiny, and often for good reasons. However, Cam's story added up and he was quickly ruled out as a suspect. The friends from the bachelorette party, as well as a man that she was seen dancing with at the bar, were also interviewed. All of them were ruled out as suspects at that time. Word of Kaylee's vanishing quickly spread with the help of social media, and hundreds of volunteers, along with police, began searching the local area. Missing posters and leaflets were circulated in the hope that Kaylee would be brought back home. Sadly, things would soon take a dramatic and unexpected turn.
Good evening, I'm Alex Biston. An unusual missing person case has hundreds of Central Oregonians concerned and on the lookout. Bend police are working to find Kaylee Sawyer, and tonight Jennifer Wade spoke with Sawyer's parents. Jen, how long has their daughter been missing?
Alex Sawyer was last seen early Sunday morning near her West Bend apartment parking lot, walking toward nearby Central Oregon Community College. Her mother says her daughter is very close to her family, and it's very unusual for them not to hear from her for 2 days. They say they are worried sick and just want to get their Kaylee back.
She has four younger brothers who desperately want their big sister home.
Missing 23-year-old Kaylee Sawyer has much of Central Oregon on the lookout. Thousands of concerned residents spent the day putting up flyers and sharing their concern on Facebook.
And we just contacted everybody and said, please get her face out there.
The incoming COCC student and Bend native was last seen at 1 a.m. Sunday.
Isabel Ponce Lara was a new police officer in Bend. Just after midday on July the 25th, she walked into the Redmond Police Department, but it wasn't to clock in for work. She had some shocking information pertaining to her husband, Edwin Lara, that would turn the search for Kaylee on its head. Here is that real interview. To skip the interview, use the timestamp or chapter below.
So could you tell me, and I know that you already went over this, but can you tell me kind of how this whole thing transpired? I guess I would start with Saturday. Were you working?
So Saturday, I didn't work Saturday, so Saturday was normal day he went to work.
He did go to work?
In the afternoon.
So what time does he start normally, or does it change?
It's always changing.
Okay. So
he was working night shift that Saturday night and getting off, I think, like 2 or 2:30 in the morning, Sunday.
And what time does that have him starting work-ish?
I think that day he went in, or he was going to go in around 3 p.m., I think it was.
And when is his only security job for COCC in that area? He doesn't have any other areas that he provides security for? Okay. Do you know if he took a lunch that day or contacted you any time during his work day?
Saturday, I think I called them. I think I called him around 7 or 6.
Okay.
That be on your phone?
Yeah.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, and then did I call him again? I think I did call him again. Towards like around 10 maybe. Or was it? No, I think it was text messages. And then that was it.
Did he respond to your text?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was that text?
So, it's still here. It was late. It was 11:30. We were talking about this slideshow that he had done, and he asked me to fix it, and I was just telling him that he had, he had done too much on the slideshow.
On the light show?
A slideshow.
Slideshow. Okay.
It's like the PowerPoint.
Yep.
That's what it was.
Okay. Normal conversation as
Yeah.
far as, okay. And then you, what time do you remember him coming home?
That was it. I don't remember what time he got home.
Did you just go to sleep like normal at your own house?
Yeah, I went to sleep. For the most part, I feel when he gets home, but that day I didn't.
Okay. What time did you wake up? Well, what time did you go to bed, and then what time did you wake up?
So I went to bed, I would say, a little bit after the text message, so I would say closer to midnight.
Okay. And did you wake up in the night at all?
No, I don't remember waking up at all.
Okay. Do you remember waking up in the morning? When you actually...
So I woke up around 7:30 to 8 on that Sunday morning.
And was he home?
Yeah, he was there when I woke up.
What was he doing? As far as was he getting in bed? Was he eating breakfast?
When I woke up, he was in bed with me.
Okay. He was already in bed. Was he awake?
He was. Well, we were waking up at the same time. I don't know if he was awake or. But we were. It was the time to get ready to go to church.
Oh.
So. I I don't remember if he was already awake or not, but we were still both in bed.
What time does he normally get off when he works graves? Like he starts at 3. What time is he normally home?
So what do you mean, like?
Like when he works a graveyard, like he did on Saturday night, he starts at like 3 p.m. What time? Like does he work like a 12-hour shift or?
It's always changing.
It's always changing.
It's always unpredictable. So I actually was on the point that I didn't even know when he was going to be working or not.
Okay.
Usually had like his schedule on the refrigerator, and I would just go check it.
Okay.
Because it was just changing all the time.
Okay. But so he didn't have any standard hours for his graveyard time. Okay. Do you know if he worked normally 8 hours, like if it was a normal day?
That day, or just
in general, because you don't know that day, right?
In general, I think it's always been like 10 hours.
10 hours. Okay, that makes sense.
But you see, that's where sometimes I get just crazy. Sometimes he would just work 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't predictable.
Okay. So not sure on what time he got off or what time he came home, but when you woke up, he was asleep and you guys were both kind of waking up at the same time. Is that correct? Yeah. And you were both planning on, or you would normally both go to church?
Yeah.
So he's used to maybe getting a few hours and then getting up and being okay to go to church on Sunday. That would be normal. Okay. Did you guys do that?
When it happens, like I said, his schedule gets all crazy.
Yeah.
So when it happens, he's okay with it. Like.
Okay. Did you do that on this Sunday? Did he get up and go to church?
So that's what we did. We got up, we got ready, and went to church.
Okay. Normally, when he comes home and does he wear his uniform home with him? Does he have a locker at work that he changes into before?
It's a give and take. He usually does bring him where he's gonna like wash it.
Okay.
Sometimes he does leave it at work.
Does he have like a locker at work where he leaves?
I think they do.
Okay.
So when he goes to work and he has a clean uniform, goes to work, does he come in home wearing like just his pants, or?
He doesn't come home wearing the uniform.
So he has some change of clothes in his locker that.
He'll either bring it with him, and he has a bag that he'll bring in if he's bringing it that day, and it's usually when he wants to wash it, because I don't think they have many uniforms. I think they only have like one or one uniform or something like that. So he's like washing it constantly.
So he doesn't like drive in his uniform?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But he does have a locker at
I think so, yeah. I don't know if I don't think they share it or anything, but I think they do.
Okay. And he drives home, so he'll drive to work in his car and then drive their patrol car or their security car, right? Okay. So what time is church on Sunday?
9 in the morning.
Okay. Is that, and where's the church?
So it's La Roca, it's in Spanish, it's called a rock. It's on Division Street in Bend.
Okay, and then are you noticing anything weird at all at this point?
So he was very quiet, like on the way to church. Wasn't saying much. This is unusual. At church, he was just very quiet, very withdrawn. Like he would usually like grab my hand or something. He wasn't doing that. So when we get out of the church, I asked him, "What's wrong with you? What's going on?" And I told him, we've been together for a very long time. I know something's up.
Could you get some Kleenex?
Yeah. Do you want something to drink too?
No.
So it was strong enough for you. You didn't ask him anything about it at that point, though?
No, because I'm still in training at work. Yeah. It's been stressful.
Sure.
And it's just, we've been like talking about it, like just in the sense of like, so what if I don't make it? Or whatnot. So it's been stressful in the sense of just trying to figure out.
Sure.
So I thought then maybe that's just, it was all together.
Part
So
of that.
I didn't push it.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm feeling down to myself.
Sure,
so
absolutely. I would have thought the
didn't-
same exact thing.
I didn't push it. I didn't.
Okay. And I'm sorry, but and I'll be annoyingly detailed on this. You guys get done with church at about what time?
It's noon.
Okay. Do you drive straight back to Redmond, or did you just stop for lunch or anything?
We went back home. Well,
Okay.
we stopped by getting Pizza Hut.
Okay.
And we went home. We ate the pizza. We were there, watched Netflix. And then he told me, he's like, let's go see a movie. So I'm like, all right, let's go see a movie. Then we headed to bed.
Okay.
Watch a movie. So cousin Benny Melvin, he went with us.
Okay. Do you remember what you watched?
Watch Light Out or Light On.
That's some water anyway.
Alright, thanks.
Do you remember if what time the movie was?
7:45, I think that's good.
And so through this whole time up to when you're going to the movie, anything stand out to you?
No, not at that point. So him being all withdrawn was all the way up to I would say towards the time that he told me let's go watch a movie.
Yeah.
Then he kind of went back to, or at least I didn't pick up anything at that point, and I was just like, okay, let's go.
Okay.
So nothing. We watched a movie, and I've been with him since Sunday morning when we woke up. I've been with him all throughout.
Yeah. Okay. Which is a normal day for you guys, right? I mean, you guys spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when you get out of the movie, what do you do then?
We walked around a little bit at Deal Mill.
Okay.
And then that was it. We got in the car. We went home. We went to go drop off Benny, and we went home.
Okay. Did you guys take the Altima to church?
No, we were in the Jeep.
Okay. Were you in the Jeep everywhere you went that day?
Yeah.
And where was the Altima parked?
In the car. I mean, in the house. Just parked.
On the street or in the driveway?
On the street where he usually parks.
Okay. That's normal? He parks on the street with the Altima?
You know what I just thought about right now? He had the windows cracked open, and he never did that.
Okay.
And I asked him about that, and he said, "Oh, it's hot."
When you guys go to
About that
church
right now.
and travel around together, do you usually take your car or do you usually take his car?
It's give and take. It's never. It's usually whichever car has gas.
Yeah.
Really, that's really.
Okay.
And was he supposed to work on Sunday night?
He was
Okay.
supposed to go in. No, not Sunday. He
Okay.
was supposed to go to work Monday.
So he had yesterday.
Sunday off.
He had Sunday off. Okay. And then when you guys got home, about what time was it from the movie? After you walked around, did you drop Vinny off?
Drop him off. I would say it was late, like 11, maybe towards noon, midnight.
Yeah. And then did you go straight home from there?
From dropping off, yeah.
Mhm.
Dropping off, Benny, we went home.
And what did you do from there?
I got home, decided to take a shower. Took a shower, he came into the shower with me towards the end of my shower. Get out. No, he got out. I was still in the shower. He got out. He had sex. And then we went to bed.
Okay. What do you remember about what time that was?
No, but I would say maybe 1.
And so then this morning, Do you remember, was he with you in bed the whole time from when you fell asleep?
Yeah.
And what time did you wake up?
I woke up around 9.
Okay. Was he in?
I got out of the bed. I woke up like around 8:30, but I still stayed in
Yeah.
bed. Then I got up like 9.
Okay. Was he in bed with you?
He was in bed with me.
Okay, so he was still in bed by the time you got out at 9. And what time did he wake up after that?
I want to say 10:30ish, maybe.
We're on Monday now.
Mm-hmm.
We're on today.
Today, well, I think it's Tuesday now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Monday morning.
And how did your morning go?
So I woke up. He told me, "Oh, you're getting up already?" Because usually he's sleeping.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm already awake." I'm like, "But you could continue sleeping." So he stayed in bed and I got up. I went outside, turned on the water, sprinklers, turned on TV, was watching TV, and I was just waiting for him to get up so we could start the morning. So he comes out of the room and his eyes were all teary. That's why I'm like, what happened? Tell me what happened. What's wrong? So he sits on the sofa. I turn off the TV, and then he just says that. He's like, I a woman. That's what he said. And I'm like, what do you mean? Then he's like, I hit her with the car.
And did he tell you which car?
He said the security, the job, the car that they use at the job.
And what did you say to that?
So I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean you hit her? And he's like, yeah, I hit her and I panicked. And I'm like, what do you mean by you hit her panicking? What did you do?
Did he say, I hit her in a panic?
He said, I don't remember exactly the words that he said, but he said something that he hit her with the car.
Yeah.
And then he panicked.
Okay.
So then I asked him, like, that's what I was trying for him to explain to me. So you hit her with the car. That's an accident.
Yeah.
Why? What do you mean you panic? What do you mean?
And what did he say?
He just kept saying, I panic. And at that point, he's already, like, he got up and he's already, like, going into the room and walking back and forth. And I'm not really quite understanding what he's telling me.
So when he's walking, he walks to your bedroom? Or?
Yeah, he walks to the bedroom. I think at some point I followed him there, and I'm like, explain to me what happened. And then he's like, okay, so then he says at some point, I don't remember if it was back in the living room or whatnot, but because he was just walking back and forth, he said that he hit her with the car at work. And I asked him, well, where is there any signs that you hit her or what? And then he said that it was because of the grill, that no, there was no signs. And then I'm like, so what did you do with the body, what? And he's like, I hit her. And I'm like, and then I kept asking him, what does it got to do with you hitting her and now you panic and you hit the body? He wouldn't.
So it didn't make sense to you?
It wasn't making sense to me.
How long did this conversation go on before he left?
It was pretty brief. It was just him moving around. I'm not sure if I don't think he grabbed anything other than he did grab my gun from my purse. And then he just kept saying, I need to go. And then right before he left, he's like, there's her stuff in the shed.
How did he say it again?
He said something in regards to her stuff is in the shed.
Her stuff is in the shed.
And I think it was because I kept telling them, it doesn't make sense. It's like, you're lying to me. It's not. So I feel like he told me that, so I could go see it and say, oh, it is true.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't making sense to me, and I think he was seeing that like I wasn't believing it, like it felt like a movie, like it just, it wasn't making any sense to me. But when I saw the stuff, I'm like, oh.
And he was still there then?
No, he was already gone.
Okay. But he never said what. All he said was he hit her and he panicked. He never said.
But it wasn't making any sense to me, because I'm like, why would somebody then do that, especially you, especially him? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Did he say when this happened?
So he just said.
He's just telling the story.
He just at the, like, when he was working that Sunday morning, he didn't give me like a time.
Here's a brief recap of the events according to Isabel. She informed the police that her husband Edwin Lara had, that morning, admitted to taking the life of a young woman. Edwin was in charge of security at the Central Oregon Community College, the college that Kaylee attended, and this was the night that Kaylee went missing. Wife Isabel sent a text message to Edwin at around 11:30 p.m. on the Saturday night in question. She then went to bed and fell asleep. She didn't wake up until 7:30 or 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, at which point Edwin was in bed beside her. The couple then went to church as they usually would on a Sunday morning, but she did say that she noticed Edwin was unusually quiet that morning. However, because they were currently going through some marital issues, plus the fact that he had just been on a night shift, she refrained from asking him too many questions. Edwin, though, appeared to be back to normal that evening, so they went to catch a movie together. The rest of the night played out pretty normally, and the couple went to bed. The following morning, Monday, Isabel's world would come crashing down around her. Edwin had something he needed to get off his chest. He confessed to his wife that he ended the life of a woman, but that it was an accident. He said that he hit the woman with his car. He checked on her and discovered that she had already passed. At this point, he decided rather than come clean, he would hide the body. Edwin then told Isabel that the woman's belongings were hidden in the shed in their garden, and with that information, he fled the house, taking Isabel's 9mm firearm with him. He drove off in his Nissan Altima. That is when Isabel went to the police station. Police rushed to the home and searched the shed. In it they found a white bag containing high-heeled shoes, a purse containing a black wallet, a passport, a credit card, a blood-stained rock, and a clump of hair. The shoes and handbag were prized possessions of Kaylee's and weren't something she would readily part with. Edwin's work boots were also located by the police. They were covered with blood. At the home, they also found a class project that Edwin had written and kept. It was about the serial killer, Angel Resendez Ramirez, someone that committed over 20 slayings. The nightmare scenario that Isabel described in her interview was proving to be the truth. Police were aware that they needed to locate Edwin quickly in order to further confirm the information and stop him from potentially hurting anyone else. After all, this was a man that seemed to have an interest in serial killers. Police discovered that after Edwin left his home that morning, he drove his Nissan to his parents' house in Redmond, about a 15 to 20 minute drive from Bend. There he ditched the Nissan and swapped into his parents' Subaru Legacy. The trail he left for the police was obvious and they soon located the Nissan. Both the rear bumper and the trunk were covered with hair, and there was a significant amount of dried blood. The evidence against Edwin was building quickly, but he was still out of the grasp of the police. Edwin drove his parents' car to Salem, 2 to 3 hours west of his last known location. He parked up outside a Ross Dress for Less store, and that is where he saw 19-year-old Andrea Elizabeth Mays. She had just left her customer assistant job at T-Mobile. She was sitting alone in the parking lot in her gold-coloured Volvo. She had just taken a selfie and was uploading it to Instagram when Edwin jumped into her car. He sat himself in the passenger seat and pointed the firearm which he had stolen from his wife in Andrea's face. He shouted at her to drive. Edwin forced the teen to drive to neighbouring state, California, explaining what he had done and why he was fleeing. They made it into California on the first day, but Andrea's car began to malfunction. As well as the start of car troubles, it was now 11:40 p.m, and Edwin wanted to rest, so they pulled off into a motel. Shockingly, Edwin managed to buy a room and take Andrea in there without raising suspicion. Once inside, he handcuffed her to the bed. It really is hard to imagine just how terrified she must have been at this stage. By chance, an alarm on Andrea's phone went off. Edwin, in a heightened state of anxiety, believed that this somehow meant that Andrea was being tracked, or that she was somehow working with the police. Andrea, with some of the quickest thinking I have heard from someone in a situation like this, explained that the alarm was a reminder for her to take her medication for an STD. Although we can't be sure, we can assume that this is what kept her safe that night. The next morning, the two left the motel in Andrea's car, but now the car was in real mechanical trouble. They were forced to pull over into the Super 8 motel in Yreka, California. Edwin spotted a man stood next to his vehicle in the parking lot. The man was named Jack Levy, a photographer. Edwin pulled out his firearm and tried to take the car from Jack. However, he resisted and shouted for help, at which point Edwin pulled the trigger. Jack was hit in the abdomen. Luckily, Jack survived this ordeal. The situation seemed to be spiralling deeper down a dark road. With a gun being fired, it was highly likely the police would already be on their way to the scene. So once more, Edwin fled, this time on foot, dragging Andrea with him across the road to a gas station. There, Edwin turned his attention to a car owned by an elderly woman with her 2 teenage grandsons as passengers. The teenage boy's father was in a nearby gas station, but was unaware of what was happening. Edwin forced Andrea into the woman's car, which now contained Edwin, Andrea, the grandmother, and 2 teenage boys. He travelled 15 miles south on Interstate 5 with his 5 hostages. Edwin told everyone what he had done to Kaylee and Jack, and that within him he just felt an urge to kill. He then dropped the grandmother and 2 teenage boys off at the side of the road, but he kept Andrea with him. He now drove at dangerous speeds of up to 120 miles per hour down the highway. Andrea was instructed by Edwin to turn on her phone's camera and help him to take a video. This is how he addressed the police with a video posted to Facebook.
I apologize for everything I've done. Most likely I'm going to get caught. Sorry about that girl in Central Oregon. And I just want to let family members, Andrea, that she's fine and she will be fine because so far she's been doing what I've been told her to do. You know, and if you guys are wondering if I have done dirty things to her, no. All right, I'm not that kind of guy. And she'll be home pretty soon. I'm sorry to her grandma and her family members, to her boyfriend. Okay, tell the cops that not to shoot us, because if they shoot us, then that's not my fault. Okay, but sorry, everybody. Bye.
On July the 26th, at about 6:40 a.m, he dialed 911. He was travelling on a road close to Redding, California, and this is the call that he made.
Tuesday, 7/26/2016 at 06:40.
911 emergency reporting.
Yes, hi. This is Edwin Lara, and I'm the guy on Interstate 5. Going at high speed. I know you guys have the chopper on me already.
Yeah.
And I just want to say I am going to turn myself in.
Okay, where are you at?
Okay, I'm on I-5. I think close to Redding, if I'm right. So, you know, I am wanted for murder in the state of Oregon.
Okay. Edwin,
Yeah.
where are you at right now? Can you stop?
I am going to stop once I hit Reading. Once I'm in Reading, I'm going to stop.
Okay, can you tell me where you are right now?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Let's see. There's a sign right here. 50 miles from Reading.
You're 50 miles from Reading. Can you see a mile mark or anything?
From Corning.
You're 50 miles from Corning.
Yeah, 50 miles from Corning. 50 miles south or north of Corning.
Are you by yourself or?
No, I have someone with me. I kidnapped her in Oregon. She's innocent. Her name is Andrea. What's your last name?
He doesn't know.
I'll let her give her last name so you can call her family, okay?
Okay.
Just give me a second.
What's your name?
Hello?
Yeah, hi. What's your name?
Andrea.
Andrea, what's your last name?
Maes, M-A-E-S.
Okay, are you hurt at all, Andrea?
No.
No? Okay. Do you know where you are? Let me talk to Edwin again.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, Edwin, you're heading southbound on 5?
Yeah, I'm heading southbound on 5. I'm 50 miles away.
Okay, I'm sorry. Did you make it past Reading yet?
I think I did. I'm 50 miles from Corning.
You're 50 miles from Corning?
Yeah, 15.
Oh, 15 miles from Corning.
Yes. So I'm passing a state trooper, a highway patrol right now.
You're what, sir?
I'm passing a highway patrol.
Okay, where are you at, though?
I am Flores Avenue, 1 mile from Flores Avenue.
1 mile from Flores. Are you able to safely find somewhere to stop?
I'm not going to stop right here. I'm just going to turn myself in Corning. Okay.
Are you going to Corning Police, or where are you going?
Yeah, I'm going to Corning Police. But I want to ask you a favor.
Uh-huh.
So I have asthma.
You have asthma? Okay.
Yeah, so you tell them not to be too rough on me because, I can barely breathe right now. All right, so that's all I wanted to say.
Do you need any kind of medical or?
Yeah, well, I think so. I'm going to need my inhaler. I forgot my inhaler at home. I went all over Salem, Oregon looking for an inhaler, but I guess they don't sell it, behind the counter or out of counter. So,
Edwin, how fast are you going?
I'm going about 120 miles an hour.
You're going about 120 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Can you slow down?
Well, I want to make it there quick. That way I can turn myself in.
Well, the officer sees you. We just don't want you to speed away from anything. If you can stop and just give yourself in, it'll probably be easier.
Well, there's an officer behind me right now.
Okay, they see you. We're talking to them. They see you.
Yeah, she's seeing me. I think it's a she. She's right behind me.
Okay. The officer sees you, and are you able to safely stop?
Yeah, I can stop, but not right now. I'll stop in Corning.
What's the difference from stopping now in Corning?
I just don't want to stop right here in the middle of the road, putting myself in danger and putting everybody else in danger, more in danger, I guess.
They won't. They're aware. I'll let them know they won't. But if you can stop safely, they just don't want you to run. They think you're trying to run or anything.
Okay.
Edwin, do you have any weapons with you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I do have a gun on me. I am not going to flash the gun, so you tell them not to shoot me.
Okay.
I don't want to die.
Okay, you stick by your word, though. I'll let them know.
Yeah, I'm going to let them know. Don't hurt Andrea. She's a nice girl. Don't hurt her. I'm actually calling my family just to say bye to them. So once I'm done calling all my family, then I'll turn myself in.
Okay, we can get a hold of your family if you want.
I already called my wife. I called a lot of people already. I am wanted for the death of Kaylee Sawyer at Bend, Oregon.
What's the girl's name? Kaylee what?
Sawyer.
Sawyer?
Yes. Or Swire, maybe.
And she was from Bend, Oregon?
Yes. I just want to say that it was an accident. So I work for Campus Public Safety there. And she was really drunk, and I didn't see her, and I ran her over.
Okay.
And then after that, I just she was still breathing, and then she was screaming, and I decided to silence her forever.
Okay.
And I am very remorseful for that, and, you know.
Okay.
I know her.
Edwin, are you able to stop? The officers behind you, they don't know if you're running and stuff or trying to run from them. So if you can safely stop, they'll have the freeway block and nobody will get hurt if you just try to
Okay.
stop.
You want me to read the plate for you?
Your
Of
plate?
the officer, the police officer's plate?
No. You don't need to read the police officer's plate.
Okay. Because I want her to just get in front of me if she can.
Why do you want it
That
in
way
front of you?
she can move all the traffic. I'm not gonna shoot anybody, I promise.
I know, but you have to realize they have to take care. It's for their safety and for your safety
okay.
as well. Do you understand
All
that?
right. Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
All right, so I'm about to get to Corning. I'm like 4 miles away.
Okay. Where are you at now? Can you tell me where you are?
I am 4 miles from Corning.
Okay. The girl that's with you, how old is she? Andrea, how old is she?
How old are you? She's 19.
19 years of age? Okay.
Yeah.
Does she have any weapons or anything, or?
Nah, she doesn't.
She doesn't.
I honestly, I did kidnap her. We drove her car, you know, and her car died on us, so I had to borrow somebody else's car. You know, basically that's what it is.
Okay.
But yeah.
So, Edwin, can you pull over safely for the officer?
Right here, right now?
If you can find a safe spot, you can pull over the shoulder. They're going to have a freeway block. Nobody will get hurt. But I just don't want you to run from them and they think you're running from them. So if you can just pull over, find a safe spot completely out of the lanes. Don't stop in the lanes or anything. Find a safe spot and just pull over.
Okay. I'll slow down for them.
Okay, you're going to slow down?
Yeah, I'm gonna slow down.
Okay.
You know, I don't want somebody else to get hurt.
Good. So are you going to stop?
Yeah, maybe. I will stop right now. I'm shaking up. I mean, I'm shaking.
I understand. And
I don't want to get shot. I mean,
okay. I will let them know, but you need to make sure you just listen carefully, okay?
Okay. Just to let you know, I have a bulletproof vest too.
Are you wearing it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, you're not going to try to do anything, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
You want me to throw my gun out of the window right now?
Not right now. No. Don't do that right now.
All right.
I just want you to stop safely.
I could just give it to Andrea, see if she wants to kill.
No. You don't want to do that to her and yourself.
All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna call her grandma and apologize, and then I'll stop.
You know, right now, let's just kind of worry about you stopping.
Okay.
Just worry about stopping and getting you guys both safe. Okay.
All right. Okay, I'll stop.
Okay.
I'll hang up now.
No, I'm going to stay on the line with you, okay?
Okay. Well, basically, or technically, it's illegal to talk on the phone and drive, right?
You know, if you're calling in an emergency, and you know what, this is just a totally different circumstance, okay?
Okay.
That's the last thing we need to worry about right now.
Yes.
So,
I know this is being recorded, and I just want to say to the family of Kaylee that I am sorry. I am sorry for what I did to her, and in time I will tell them where the body is. I will just, that way she can rest in peace.
Do you want to let me know, or just have this recorded where it is?
No, I remember.
Okay.
So, I mean, hopefully the police officer doesn't shoot me, and I'll survive,
Yeah. Well,
but
we're not going to let that happen, right? If you just do what you're supposed to do and do what you're told to do.
I left a vehicle with a note, in, what is that place called? In Salem, Oregon.
Okay.
Yeah, in the, what's the mall called? The Ross. Yeah, there is a Ross in the Lancaster in Salem.
What is it called?
What is the address to the mall?
Oh, the mall.
Yeah, it's a Ross. A Ross mall.
Rob, or
Ross, R-O-S-S.
Oh, Ross Mall.
Yeah. So, or a store, whatever you want to call it. So it's a store. I left a station wagon, you know, that I stole from my parents.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was borrowing it. I told them that I was going to borrow it. And so I drove it all the way to Salem, and I parked it right in front of the mall, and there's a note there just in case. Hopefully not, but just in case I die.
What kind of car was it? You said it was a station wagon?
Yeah, it's a station wagon. It's registered to my stepfather. My stepfather's name is... Yes. And, you know, I'm pretty sure somebody noticed it already.
Okay. So
and that's where I kidnapped Andrea, too.
Okay.
He works at that Ross store.
Okay. So, Edwin, are you going to stop for the officers?
Yeah, I am. As soon as I'm done talking to you, I'll stop.
I'll stay on the line. I just want to make sure you stop safely and just think about what you're doing as well.
Okay, I'll let you talk to Andrea.
Okay. Are you going to stop?
Yeah, I'm going to stop.
Okay, once you stop, make sure they can see your hands at all time, okay?
All right. Just tell them I'm going to go into that casino.
You're going to go into the casino?
Yep. I'm not going to go inside the building, just into the parking lot.
You're just going to stop in the parking lot?
Yes. That way we get out of the freeway, because I don't want to put the officers in danger.
Okay. So once you get there to the parking lot, can you just make sure they see your hands at all time?
Yes, I will.
Where's your gun at?
I promise. It's in between my legs. Let's tell them that not to be too rough.
Did you already pass the casino?
Yeah, actually I did.
Why'd you tell me that then?
Because I couldn't find. I'm trying to find the road. I don't think there is a road to get in there.
There is.
There is. Okay, I see a bridge, and I was trying to get there to see if I find a way to get to a casino.
Okay, are you able to safely just pull over then, so the officers don't keep them chasing you? Just pull over.
Yeah, I'll pull over right now.
As seen in this police dashcam footage, Edwin's rampage was drawing to a close.
Okay, I'll let you talk to Andrea.
Okay, just don't hang up.
I'm not.
Hello?
Yeah, hi, Andrea. Are you
Hi.
okay? You don't need any medical or anything?
No.
Okay, so Edwin, where's his gun at? Does he have it still between his legs?
I don't know.
Can you see it? He said he had it between his legs. Is he stopping?
Yeah.
He is stopping?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, make sure your hands are up too and stuff. I know you're on the phone right now, but just hold your hand up so they can see your hands too.
Okay.
I'm going to stay on the line with you until the officers get there, okay? And you're going to be okay. Andrea?
Mm-hmm.
Does he have his hands up?
Yeah.
He does have his hands up? Okay. Just tell him to make sure that the officers...
Hey, who are you? Tell him I can't.
He said he can't hear her.
Do I get out or do I?
Tell him we're letting the officers know that he can't hear her.
He's already walking towards them.
He's walking towards them. Tell him to make sure he holds his hands up.
Yeah, he is.
He is. Tell him to turn around and don't walk towards him. He can walk backwards towards him.
I can't. He's too far.
Okay. And if you want to do the same, once he gets out and stuff, just turn around and walk backwards towards him. Don't walk facing them.
Okay. Do I stay on the line with you?
Once you get out, I'll go ahead and disconnect the line. Once you get out, can you see, do they have him in custody already?
They're putting the cuffs on him right now.
Putting the cuffs on him?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to hang up and just get out and you walk backwards towards him with your hands up, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Andrea, it's going to be okay.
She told me to stay in the car.
She told you to stay in the car? Okay, then whatever instructions they give you, then do that.
Okay.
Okay, if she's giving you instructions, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get off the line, okay? And just whatever instructions. Okay, bye. Bye.
Edwin was arrested. At the police station, Edwin spoke freely about what he had done. I found this initial interview to be incredibly interesting. If you want to skip past it, just use the timestamps or chapters below.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's okay. It's recording.
Okay.
Is he working off a list of questions? What's that? Is he working off a list of questions? No, that's all recording. You're all right. I
thought she was asking for. I thought you were asking for our help.
Yeah.
You would.
You help? Hey.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got gloves on.
You set? All right, partner. On you want to sit? Have a seat there. Thank you.
Right over there, Edwin.
This office right here. When you get over.
Okay.
You know, wherever you want. Just tell me where you want to be set.
That's fine.
I'll sit right here. Let me know when you're finished.
Okay, thank you. Hello, sir.
Hi.
My name is Sergeant Beckwith.
I'm Mac.
Wait, I shouldn't introduce myself because you guys know me.
We know a little bit, right? So a couple things. We got some housekeeping items to talk about before we start talking about things. Those are going to be your Miranda rights and your right to a counselor.
Okay.
And then I wanted to talk to you, you know, just to let you know where I'm coming from, because it sounds like you've done a lot of good things, even to this point. And so we're not really concerned about the NDA at this point. It's going to be about, you know, finding her. Okay. So, but before we do that, do you have any questions for me on the onset before I advise you of some things? Because I'm going to advise you of your Miranda rights and your consular rights.
Okay.
Right. Before we start talking about things at all, but as far as questions you have before we get into that, I'm all my cards on the table kind of guy. Okay, I'm not going to come in here and try to be all tricky or whatever. Detective McLaughlin's the same way. Okay?
Well, all I got to say is that I want to go home.
Okay.
I'm going to do everything possible to go home.
Yes, sir. And home meaning Oregon?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, go home, right?
Yeah, we're working on that as well. Okay? So that's something we're working on. Let's see here. Mac, when I'm pulling up this language,
Yes.
can you advise?
Sure. So, Edwin, at this point in time, I do want to let you know that the room is being video recorded. It's also being audio recorded. Just for the sake of being official, today's date is the 26th of July, 2016. I have about 12 hours. I'm Detective James McLaughlin. Present with me is Detective Sergeant Eric Beckwith with the Redmond Police Department. Edwin Lara, Enoch, Laura, is that right? Okay. So I want to let you know I'm recording the conversation so that you're aware of that, okay? Is there any questions about this conversation being recorded at all? No. Okay. Just so you know, initially...
Can you back up just a little bit?
Yeah. We're going to ask you some questions about the MVA, that stands for the motor vehicle accident, all that stuff, okay? Before we do so, I'm going to advise you of at least your Miranda rights before we get into the consulate information section. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. If you can't afford to hire an attorney, one will be appointed before any questioning if you wish, okay? Very important. Also, we're here to talk to you because we know that you know, we've spent the last 16 hours talking to Isabel, finding out stuff about you with your family and those kinds of things. I know you got a heart that's probably pretty heavy and you want to tell some stuff about the vehicle accident, and that's why we're here, okay? So it's important that you hear what I just said to you. I want to make sure that you understand those rights that I just read to you.
I do.
Okay, sir.
I also have to read you, these are your consular rights, okay? So I'm going to read this directly verbatim. It says, as a non-U.S. citizen who is being arrested or detained, you may request that we notify your country's consular officers here in the United States of your situation. You may also communicate with your consular officers. A consular officer may be able to help you obtain legal representation and may contact your family and visit you in detention, among other things. If you want us to notify your consular's office, you can request this notification now or any time in the future. Do you want us to notify the consular's office at this time? No. Okay. All right, so here's the thing I just want to get to, the nitty-gritty. We have not been able to find Kaylee's body. Can you please help me find her body immediately before we start talking about anything else? The reason why I'm asking you that is, I've done this a bunch of times.
I want to tell you where the body is.
Yeah.
I do. But I want to get home first.
Okay. So here's what I know about this. Hear me out, sir. We can't change what happened, the three of us in this room. And people will care more about what happens right now than what happened before. So we know that you've been talking to some people, et cetera, right? And because we have different jurisdictions, I can assure you that right now the DA's office is working on allowing us to take you back to Oregon, okay? But they're still working on that, okay? So in the meantime, we need to consider some things, okay? If this information gets to other people that you were like, hell yeah, I'm gonna tell you, but only until I get what I want, they might try to think of this about something different than what it is, right? And so what I've determined is, and we've looked at this a bunch of times, is I don't think you're a bad guy, right? I think that things have spun completely out of control, sir. Sir, am I right? Okay. But that being said, you know from your training and your education that we have a massive load of resources right now dedicated to one thing, and that's to serve the victim's family, okay? And they need that, and they need that right now. And so I need you to remember that it doesn't matter so much about what happened as what you do now.
Yeah, and you know this, man.
Matt wants to do a map.
So before, can I say the story what happened first?
Yeah, as you're drawing, please, or whatever you'd like to do. Sir, please do a map first. You want us to get you out of that stuff?
Highway from, yeah.
Okay, but you ask if we can get him out of this stuff so we can drive.
Highway from Redmond to Salem, that's 120, right?
I think it's 126.
126.
Yeah, we'll get you out of those things. Yeah.
We're working.
All right, checking the box. So we're gonna get somebody to get you out of those, man. I mean, so that's Highway 126.
126 highway.
Mm-hmm.
That's going towards Salem.
Correct.
Do you know that the Chutes River?
The Chutes River.
That's
Okay, are we
River.
closer to Redmond?
Closer to Redmond.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so about, I'm thinking maybe not even 10 miles. Just keep going.
Okay.
There's a mailbox right here. It reads 18700. It's right across it.
It's gonna be on the south side of the road. So if this is north, like the
yeah, that's north. It's gonna be on the south side.
okay. And this is going to be east towards Redmond, correct? And this is going to be west towards Sisters.
Oh, you're okay with him to come?
Okay. Are you left or right-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Can you come here? Yeah. This is a map he's driven.
Yeah.
This is the Deschutes River, Highway 126 from Redmond towards Sisters.
Yeah.
There's a mailbox with this number on
Yeah.
it. He said it's directly across from this mailbox on the south side of the highway. How far off the highway?
It's just right there. You'll see it right away.
It says you'll see it right away.
Buried in the ditch.
Is it buried or?
It's not buried. It's
Just in the ditch itself?
It's just in the ditch.
Okay, south side of the highway across from that mailbox. Correct.
You're doing good, Edwin. You know what? This is not easy, I mean, you might be a little bit scared. We're going to hear what you have to say. We really, really want to. I'm thankful, and so is Sergeant Beckwith, that you know what the right thing to do is right now, and that's to help us locate her for her family, for the community, for us, for you, for your wife, all that good stuff, okay? So I'm thankful to you. I want to say that right away, that you hear what this man has to say and that you've got a heart inside of you. And I know, because I was in your house. I saw the Bible. I know you thumb through it a lot. I see that you've tithed for months consecutively. I know you have God in your heart, okay? And that's just not a trick. That's eternal, right? You know that. But I'm not talking about this moment. I'm talking about the big picture, okay? And so I appreciate your honesty.
So, what happened, man? What happened? Like the straight up, what happened?
So I was putting the signs up where there was an event going on.
It's a
School,
college.
It's cyclist event or whatever. You know, I was in a hurry because I want to get out of here. And I was going to turn south on College Way on the D4 lot. So I was going to turn south on the do not enter area there. And I didn't see her. She was wearing all black. So I was in a hurry, so it was my fault. And I wasn't expecting anybody, you know, at that time of night. So I just turned and I mean, I didn't hit her that hard. I just bumped her with the patrol car, bumped her with the front rack. And she fell down. And at first I thought, you know, first thing I was, oh, I killed her, you know, but I didn't hit her that hard. So I got off the car and she was really drunk. And then she looks at me and then she started screaming.
She started screaming?
Yeah,
or you did?
She did. So I panicked and I just grabbed her by the throat and I told her, shut up, shut up, shut up. So she passed out. I put her on the back of the patrol car, drove her up the B12 lot, and then I was panicking. I didn't know what to do. She already seen me. She saw my face. So I opened the door, and that's when she came back. She started screaming again. So I grabbed the chokehold, and I was telling her, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. She was just struggling to scream. So I threw her down and I hit her with a rock on the head. After that, I dragged her body behind a tree there and I hit her with another rock. And that's when I think she died because I heard her breathing. Her last breath. And then with her body there, I went to the Zama gym. I tried to wash off all the dirt from my coat. I had a stain on my shirt. I was wearing the bike patrol shirt. I had a red stain. I couldn't take that off, so I started washing my pants and my boots on the Mizama gym. I went into the men's restroom right in front of the main entrance of the south entrance of Mizama. Then after being there, I just walked towards the women's gym or shower, and I went into the shower and I started washing off all the dirt from my pants. And then I looked at the watch and it was like 1:50 or whatever, and my shift was almost over. And I know Adam Nieder was in the office, so I'm like, hey, you know, I'm usually never late. I'm out of here when my shift ends, so I better get there. So I got there like around 2:01 or something like that. I was full of dirt, and he wanted to talk to me about something, and I wasn't facing him because I saw this scratch in my face. And I was scared that he was going to see it because I knew that you guys were gonna investigate us. I knew that for a fact, because I'm not dealing with stupid people, right?
Yeah.
So I panicked and, you know, I just let him talk, and I acted like I was doing something on the computer, and I was just saying, oh, yes, yes. And I tried telling him something, but I was so nervous that I don't think he was able to understand me, what I was saying. He goes, what? And I said it again, and he wasn't able to understand me. So at the end, I think he just left it like that. You know, he didn't ask me any more questions. But I don't think he realized anything bad, you know. I just think he probably thought I was tired or something. Because I told him, you know, I'm tired, I want to go home. Then, when I was walking out, I'm like, okay, I need to get rid of her, because if they find her up in the boy 12 lot, they're gonna know it was one of us, and it's gonna be me, because Adam was in the office, you know, all night long, right, doing some paperwork. So I drove back up there, I put on my car, I grabbed a trash can first from the Boy Education Center, from the custodial room. I grabbed a trash can, or a trash bag. I drove up the hill again and just put her head inside the bag, put her in the trunk of my car, and just drove out of there.
Your personal car?
Yeah.
Which car's that?
The Nissan. You guys haven't found that yet?
Yeah, we found it.
Okay.
But it's not fair for me to put words in your mouth, you know? So you gotta ask. So what happened next?
So I drove her to a ditch by close to my parents' house, and she was kind of heavy, you know, so I just grabbed her and pretty much ripped everything off her, like her clothes. I threw her in the ditch, and then I went back home, and I was like, okay, they gotta find her there pretty quick, so I gotta move her and put her somewhere else that they're not gonna be able to find her. So next day, actually it was the following night, while my wife was sleeping, I just got up without her noticing that I was, you know, that I left, and I went and moved the body again.
To its location that you told us. The first place where you put Kaylee.
I think it's...
Is it near your parents? Like, how close to your parents' house?
So the street, it's
Hemlock?
Hemlock, I think it is.
Helmholtz?
Helmholtz. Yes, Helmholtz and Antler, right in the corner. There is a little, I don't know what that, I think it might be a little creek or a lake or something right there, so pretty close to that. So I just threw her body right there, and then I came back following night and just dumped her. You know, and at this time I was feeling really bad, you know, because I've never killed anybody, and I feel really bad about her, about the girl. She didn't deserve to die. And I was feeling really bad about what I went through, because she's my everything. And I know that most likely I will die in prison, you know. And that's gonna be one of the things that I'm gonna take in my heart, Isabel, and the regret of killing this girl. And I know this is being recorded, and apologize to the parents. To the dad, I know the dad has been looking for her non-stop. I apologize to this. She looked like a really nice girl, and she didn't deserve what I did to her. Following day after I moved her body, the second time, or the first time, the second time I should say, I woke up with this thing in my heart, like heavy, you know, and I'm like, so I knew that from the moment I told my wife she's going to turn me in, because I know her. And she loves her job and she loves what she's doing now. And I knew she was gonna do it, no matter how much she loves me. So I told her with that purpose. I told her, I killed this girl. I'm gonna walk out of here. I'm gonna drive out of here. You do your thing. She's like, why are you putting me in that spot? I'm like, because I know you're gonna do the right thing. I know you're not gonna be my accomplice because you're not that type of woman. So she kept telling me, please don't leave. Just turn yourself in. And I'm like, I don't want to spend the rest of my life in prison. Yeah. I don't want to get death penalty. I don't want that like that.
Did you have some of Kaylee's stuff at the house?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that, please?
Okay, so so I grabbed it from the patrol car and I put it in my car with the intention of getting rid of it, because I actually grabbed her phone from the purse with my bare hands. I didn't use any gloves. So I was scared that my fingerprints were going to be all over that purse. So I grabbed the purse and I put it in my car, because I'm like, well, I don't think there's fingerprints in her body. You know, but there's fingerprints on the purse, so I can leave the purse here. So I grabbed the purse, and when I was driving out of the campus on Portland Avenue, I throw the phone on the Chutes River. Is that the Chutes River? On the park?
Yes.
So I threw the phone in the river.
Which phone is that?
Her phone.
Where was it?
It was in her purse.
Why did you throw it in the river?
Because they were gonna find it. You know, if I throw it somewhere else. And I mean, I knew sooner or later I was gonna get caught. And you know, for a fact. You know, and
you was trying to buy some time?
I was trying to buy some time so I can say bye to my family, I guess.
Did you talk to your family after this?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Not so good. My grandpa told me that I screwed up my life. My mom and dad couldn't believe it. Or my stepdad, I should say. He's like my dad. Couldn't believe it. You know, they were very concerned about me. My wife just kept telling me to stop what you're doing, turn yourself in, where you at.
So a couple things you need to understand, and we're finally getting to the real problem here. We really are. Is you knew she was never getting out the car the moment you shut that door. Well, let me finish. You need to let me finish, right? Because I know this, okay? Because you said we were hookers. She's like, no. Immediately you go to give me your purse and your phone.
Well, I knew she wasn't going to get out.
She wasn't going to survive that encounter, was she?
No.
Because you can't rape her and let her live, can you?
And she can't make a phone call if you have it.
I wasn't going to rape her.
Well, you can't let her live.
Edwin, we're missing something here, man.
Look, yeah, I know what you guys are thinking, and it makes perfect sense. It does.
Because why would you ask for her purse? What was in your head that made you want her purse?
Because, you know,
just in case she had a gun, she could defend herself.
She was gonna use her phone
to call 911. Call for help.
So, but listen to this. According to your story, this is where it does not make sense. If your intent isn't already there to do some kind of harm or some kind of evil to her, some friggin' evil that's there, bro. It's there. You just gotta face it down, man. You can't cower away from it. You face that damn thing down right now. If you know the only way, if you don't have intent in her head, your thought is, I gotta keep that phone away from her because she's gonna call from help before anything bad's even happened. You've already made a decision. Am I right or am I wrong? Help me.
So, I made the decision at that time to silence her.
To kill her. Let's be real. When you say silence her, you mean kill her. Is that correct?
Okay. Because
When did you make that decision?
when she started screaming, because she had seen my face.
But you already grabbed her phone. You already kept her away from making a call for help or contacting someone. So you're already preserving yourself. So I'm thinking it's before, when you ask for the purse, I think you already know in your head, I'm going to silence her. I'm going to kill her. Why else would you ask?
So when she gave me her, like she had her phone, because I knew her phone was back there. Like it just clicked on my head, and I put her purse back there. Her phone is in there, you know. So I told her, give me the purse. So then
Tell me exactly how you said, give me your purse. Say exactly how you said it.
Okay, so I went, give me your fucking purse.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Okay.
So she hands over the purse, and I'm like, your phone is not in here. And she goes, yes, it is. So I start digging in the purse with this hand, and I find the phone, and it's there. So, and you know, very relieved. But at this time, she's struggling with the door, and I'm telling her, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
You know why you felt relieved when you found that phone? You know why? Tell me why you felt relieved.
She wasn't calling her help.
And she was never going to get away.
Because she had seen my face already.
She was already seen your face. And you already knew what you were going to do.
No.
You were going to silence her. You already told us that.
Well, yeah, but...
Why else would you grab her phone?
Because from the moment, that's when I knew that she wasn't a hooker. You know?
And she's going to tell. She's going to say something.
If I let her out of the car, she's going to go say, hey, you know, security guard raped me or something.
Do you have dominion over a woman?
Dominion?
Mm-hmm. Dominant. Is there anything about her life that means less than yours?
No.
Okay.
But you told us earlier when you were trying to carjack people in Salem, you wanted a woman who was weaker.
Weaker woman, because I knew a guy was going to fight me and I didn't want to kill anybody.
Right. So you have dominion.
I don't
necessarily. I guess what I'm getting at with that question is that at some point or another, something as minor as an offensive comment, are you a hooker? I mean, honestly, what we've approached there is you possibly losing your job for offending somebody. Okay, people are offended every day. People lose their job for offending people every day. That all of a sudden became more important than the life of a human being that you say is equal.
I think she honestly thought that I was gonna do something.
You were, man. Edwin, that's the problem. Right now, you were. You absolutely
At first I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Well, sir, let me back up. Let's just settle this right now. When you saw that girl and you picked her up, were your intentions to help her because you're a security guard on the campus and people look up to you? Was your intent to find some way to help her? Or was your intent to find a way to hurt her, either by paying for sex or taking sex? And when things went south, you knew you had to kill her because now the person she looks to for safety and security wants something from her that she doesn't want to give him.
So when I picked her up, because usually when we help someone, we call her on the radio.
Did you call her on the radio?
No, because I thought she was a hooker. And I asked why.
That's why I didn't call her on the radio.
That's why I didn't call her on the radio. And when I realized she wasn't a hooker, I felt discovered. Oh, crap. Now she's gonna go tell the whole world that I was looking for sex.
Oh, wow, how weird would that be for a dude to be looking for sex? See what I'm saying? And that's not that bad.
Dudes
right?
look for sex.
Dudes look for sex.
Well, yeah, but not a security guard that is supposed to protect.
Well,
I think you just said it, man.
Another random dude walking the street.
So are we lucky in the fact that the first time you can't control your urge to have sex with a beautiful woman, that we catch you and you give up and we find you, etc., etc.? I don't believe so. I believe there's been instances in the past that maybe you were close, something was happening, well, maybe something's going to happen here, and you backed away, whatever. Has there ever been a time like that?
And what he means by take it into consideration is this, man. Bluntly, you've betrayed that trust. Okay? The sound that you heard after the strike of the first rock, before you hit her with the second, is agonal breathing, and you know this. It's the sound of life leaving her body. It's the sound of the life God breathed into her, leaving her, and her life being no more, going away, being done. It's the sound of everyone loving her, mourning. It's the sound of her blood crying out from the friggin' earth. Right? You know this. It's Cain and Abel. No. No. You know what it is? You need to hear it though. Okay? I respect you enough, Edwin, at this point, that I've asked you for detail, and now I'm going to give you my own. Okay? Those are the cold hard facts. Does God still love you? Will He forgive you? Will He bring you back into His heart? Will He? Questions you have to answer for yourself. But the truth of the matter is that her blood cries out, man. That her life is gone. It will never be replaced. The truth of the fact is this. What you mistook for a hooker was an absolute angel. Was the apple of her mom and dad's eye. Was the breath that they breathed, that they spent and cultivated all their life raising and growing. And she is gone forever with your semen all over her. That's the truth, man. Okay? It's brutal. It's hard to say. It's hard to sit in here. But you got to face it before you can look your God in the eye and ask for that forgiveness and be able to receive it. That's the heart I want to see in that letter. Not graphic depictions, but the heart of a man broken, right? That you look and you can see what you've done. And you can begin to rebuild. You have love, mercy, compassion, right? Vastly different than rage, even than fear, fight or flight, right? Evil. Vastly different. Am I right? You've known some love in your heart, right? You love things.
This is why I feel like this.
Mm-hmm.
Because evil was not for me.
Right.
Somehow got a hold of me.
I'm wondering, for me, for the community, for the people struggling to try to understand, this doesn't grow to this unless it's cultivated, right? Somewhat, normally, in my experience, I don't see evil manifest.
From one day to the next.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I actually read books.
I see it watered. I see it grow. I see it cultivated. And then I see it manifest into real darkness, right? That affects a lot of other people inside you, and there's nobody else in there, right? There's nobody else in there. I can only guess. But there had to be some kind of idea or clue. Or let me rephrase that. Was there some kind of idea or clue inside of you that grew with some rage? Maybe that embraced that. Maybe that believed that you were entitled to that. Therefore, it manifested the way it did. Anything in there that you can help me out with to help other people understand, to help the people around us that we report to, that we talk to, the community at large, understand.
So I think all throughout my life have struggled with somehow the urge to kill. But what has helped me not develop that, in a sense, was when I married my wife. It kind of dissipated because I had something to look forward to. Before that, I didn't have nothing to look forward to.
Is this addressed to Dad?
Yeah, the last one is for CLCC.
Okay. I think it would play pretty well on recording if we read this out loud. It might show some of your emotion. Might show.
Want me to read it?
I would love you to read it. Thank you, sir.
I've been trying to ask Kaylee for forgiveness, but I don't think her soul hears my crying because God doesn't allow the devil to talk to angels. However, I know Kaylee hears you, and if you find it within your heart, please ask her to forgive me. Please, I beg you. Please. I know that I will spend the rest of my life asking God to forgive me, but I don't think He will. Sir, this is directed to her dad. I am not sure what your name is, but I know for a fact that you loved your daughter. I read something that you were desperately looking for her, and that touched the little heart I have within me. I say a little heart, a little bit, because a man like me don't have a heart. Please forgive me, Spirit. Please forgive me, and please ask your wife to forgive me too. I fail you, I fail my community, I fail everyone, including my family. I am really sorry. I beg you. A man like me doesn't deserve the job I had, and I will never have it again. The COCC. No one has to pay for my evil doing. Every officer on the campus are great men and women. I am sorry to my community. I am sorry because I fail you. I am sorry for wearing the badge. I am sorry for ever being part of CPS. I ask the college and community to forgive me. I am sorry, Jim Bennett. I fail you. May Kaylee Sawyer rest in peace now.
He admitted to killing Kaylee, taking Andrea hostage and robbing her of her vehicle. He admitted to shooting Jack Levy in California and robbing the grandmother of her vehicle at the gas station. Following the confession, officers in the vicinity of the location that Edwin gave discovered Kaylee's body by the side of the road. An autopsy was performed. Results showed that blunt force trauma was the cause of death. There was also indications of strangling, several skull fractures and other indicators of harm before she passed. It was evident that Edwin had given murder some serious thought. The Angel Resendez Ramirez school project, which the police discovered in his home, contained the following information on Ramirez. It said, he always killed with a blunt force trauma. He used weapons of opportunity that were found at the scene. This is precisely how Kaylee was ended, with a rock found by the road. The exact events that led up to Kaylee's passing are unknown. Police suggested that Edwin attempted to SA Kaylee, and in the struggle she passed away. She did have defensive wounds which conflict with Edwin's story that he accidentally knocked her down with his car. Edwin was accused of sexual assault. The case was difficult to establish once his original confession was disproved. As part of a plea agreement, he declined to admit to this sexual assault. According to the prosecutor, obtaining a life sentence was the main objective. Thus, they chose against pursuing a sexual assault conviction in order to prevent a more lenient penalty. They urged him to accept the plea agreement, which included a life term for killing Kaylee. For the murder, abduction and carjacking, Edwin received 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole. This is Kaylee's father's statement from court.
I wish to have this piece of garbage, the defendant, sentenced to death for what he's done to my Kaylee. I wish the court system in the state of Oregon would just hand him over to me and allow me to administer the death sentence.
4 years after her passing, Kaylee's family has come to agree on a $2 million settlement with the college. Do you think the punishment fits the crime here? Let me know down in the comments. Join the Dark Case family by hitting subscribe now and turning on notifications. Like the video to boost the signal with this case. Thank you to all my patrons: Rachel David, Kathy Green, David James, Addy Alexander, Karen Jones, L. Palmieri, James Harrington, Shane Woodward, Faster River, Stacey Krogerus, Summer Chambers, Mona Corona, and Cepheid Variable. Be careful out there, and I'll see you soon.